Hello again everyone. Well, this weekend is not really going to plan. We're off to Carsington Water Caravan and Motorhome Club site. Was going to leave this morning, but unfortunately Nikki has been unwell and has had to work today, and in fact she's now still feeling unable to come because she's still under the weather. So I'm going on my own. We're going to meet my mum and dad up there, but they've postponed because of the bad weather and the high winds. They're towing a caravan, so that's probably quite sensible. We may still meet up with them on the Sunday, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, it's Friday, it's 4:30, so let's get on the road. Well, we've got as far as the A14, and of course on a Friday afternoon we're in heavy traffic already. The sat-nav's still saying about 2.40 minutes to get there. So I'm thinking we'll get there sometime around 8 o'clock possibly, because I think we'll need to stop to pick up food supplies on the way, milk and such like. I'm not entirely sure what time the offices close on these sites. I'm hoping it's probably 9 o'clock-ish, but I have got their phone number to ring if we are delayed too much. That's the benefit of staying on the small CSs and CLs. You just pull up and pitch your van. Might not see anyone until the next day. As long as money changes hands at some point, nobody's too bothered. But of course on these bigger sites there's offices and barriers and such like, so you really need to get there before they close. They often have like a late arrivals pull-in area, but if you're only staying 2 nights, they're quite expensive to stay there, and if one of those nights you're in the late arrivals lay-by thing, it's a bit of a waste of money really, isn't it? Anyway, the weather's not too bad. The wind has died down. There's a bit of a break in the weather, which was forecast. It's supposed to be horrible again tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see what happens and formulate our plans around that. It's a bit of a shame Nikki couldn't come. It's not going to be the same without her, really, is it? But she was in a proper bad way with her cold, so probably do her good to have a couple of days break from me where she can recover. I don't know if I could have cancelled really. This all sort of came to light yesterday. I know they want 72 hours to cancel, but perhaps the weather would have been taken into account if I had have chosen to cancel, because obviously, especially people with caravans in high winds, it wouldn't really be sensible for them to travel in the gale force winds we have had, although it's a lovely calm quiet evening now. I don't think that's going to last very long. In any case, although I did consider cancelling, I think it'd be quite nice to have a quiet couple of nights away in the van, maybe read me book and stuff, sit inside, just really relax and wind down a little bit. I started a new job recently, just been there 4 weeks. It's quite intense, so a couple of quiet days would not go amiss. Well, I made it to the campsite just in time. Got here at 8 o'clock and the office closed at 8 o'clock, so just about snuck in without having to go on to the late arrivals bit. I've got myself a nice pitch right at the back of the site in the woods, so that's good. I've made myself some tea. Not sure I'm going to bother cooking a meal tonight because I'm not that hungry. I had a bag of crisps and a can of Red Bull on the way, so that's my healthy dinner for tonight. I might have some apple pie in a minute and some cream, and just relax for the rest of the evening and perhaps read my book. And what a great book it is. It's this new book from John Barnett. Now, John is well known in the mining history circles. I've been underground with him a couple of times actually, and it's always been a very good experience. I got my copy from More Books, which is definitely worth checking out their website. And this book arrived in the post some time ago now, but I haven't really had much of a chance to read it. So very much looking forward to having a good look through it. and recognise the place on the cover even. Very nice spot, been there a few times myself. Well, good night everyone, I shall see you in the morning. Well, it's 25 to midnight and the rain has started now. Quite nice just laying here listening to the rain on the roof. Oh, good morning everyone. I slept quite late this morning, didn't really wake up till about 9 o'clock, so definitely must have needed a good sleep. The wind's got up in the night. We're quite sheltered from it here. It's not really rocking the van, but you can really hear it in the treetops. I've been up the shower block and had a bit of a shower and come back and made myself a breakfast. Well, it's important, of course, that you have the right balance of ingredients in your breakfast when you're out and about. I've got black pudding here, which, as you know, is full of iron. Now, the forecast today is that it's going to be very wet, so we need to make sure we've got lots of reserves of iron to replace what's lost through the natural rusting process. We've also got baked beans, which are full of fibre, and fibre acts to entangle and entwine any evil spirits that we may come across during the course of the day. We've got bacon, which will pass on to us the natural characteristics of good balance and sure-footedness of the pig. I also have mushrooms, which in a similar way will pass on to us their own characteristics of courage and quiet fortitude. And to finish off, I have an egg. Now, eggs, as you know, have no nutritional value, but they do serve as a useful reminder that despite the rumours that circulate on the internet, chickens really do exist. Unfortunately, I have forgotten the ketchup, which was eaten in ancient times to help improve the reaction speeds of the warriors. So hopefully we won't come across any situations where I need to react quickly today. Well, I guess it's time to stop hanging around and drinking tea and go out and do something. So I'm going to have a little bit of a walk to see if I can find an old mine working that I know is nearby. Carsington Caravan and Motorhome Club site here is spread over a long, thin bit of woodland, so I'm pitched right up the far end because I thought it'd be nice to be in the peace and quiet a little bit. There are quite a lot of people staying here, as you can see. It's obviously quite a popular site, even on a wet and windy weekend in March. There's a single central toilet block. It's a bit of a walk from where I've pitched, but as usual it's nice and clean and got everything you might need, laundry facilities, that sort of thing, as well as the usual toilets and showers. And of course it's really nice to be camping amongst the trees. Motorhome service point there, and the usual water, waste and chemical waste bins. And there's reception and a little shop there. And it looks like you can catch the bus into Matlock or Ashbourne if you wish. think this path I'm on must be quite new because it's not marked on my map or indeed coming up on my phone, but it is clearly marked as a footpath. Ford through the stream here. I think I'll take the bridge though. You can see just over the way there is the Carsington water dam. The spiders around these parts get big. There's signs up to say that the badgers have been digging under the path here, so to be careful. So maybe this is the home to a little badger fellow. I believe they can be a little bit aggressive if you corner them, but I don't think I'll fit down there anyway. Brock definitely has been busy around these parts, hasn't he? I bet him and his family are asleep down there at the moment in their little burrows. Sleep well, Mr. Badger. What are these? Are these little early primroses coming out? Just coming into the village of Hognaston. I think that's how you say it. And there's the church. Lights are on inside, so maybe there's something going on. Perhaps a wedding, although there doesn't seem to be many cars. Maybe somebody's just doing some jobs in there. What a splendid little church. Quite a stubby little tower though. And you can just about make out the nice view of Carsington water through the graveyard. I guess this must be the dead centre of the village. Ah, sorry chaps, leave you in peace now, eh? There's the pub, a bit early yet. Might be open when we pass this way on the way back. This footpath seems to go through someone's back garden. Oh, it's starting to drizzle quite heavily now. It's not really raining yet, but there is quite a lot of moisture in the air. These ancient stones that mark the footpath as it passes through the hedgerows. I bet they could tell a tale or two if they could talk. We can talk! Now bugger off and leave us alone! Oh, alright then. This electric fence is in a shocking condition. Crikey chaps, this bit's a bit boggy. It's certainly splendid countryside. The weather isn't perfect, in fact the drizzle is getting rather heavier, but it's still very nice to be out and about for a walk. Back in the woods again. Like walking through the woods. There's some interesting little hills off in the distance there. A bit too far to walk to today, but maybe another day. Well, I found the quarry where my mine is located, and I found the mine entrance itself, but unfortunately an awful lot of soil and mud has slumped into the entrance. There is still an opening, but it's very, very committing. I could probably just about squeeze through it, but it's a very steep, downward, slippery slope. And since I'm on my own, and it could prove very difficult to get out of, especially if I'm wrong and I couldn't get through it, I would be stuck upside down in a lot of very steep, slippery mud.
So without someone to pull me up by my ankles if that happened, it's probably not that wise to give it a go. Also, to compound the problem, I have forgotten my helmet. I left my helmet back in the van. Now you could easily dig out that mud given enough time, and if I lived locally I might be tempted to give it a go. There's not much point in it perhaps, because people have been down it. It only goes about 60 metres as far as I understand, so there's probably nothing new to discover down there, but I personally haven't been down it, so it would be nice to give it a go. Never mind, perhaps another day. The mine is a little bit outside the normal mining areas, but as I understand it, when they were working this quarry, they found a vein of calcite and decided to follow it just to see if they could find some lead. In fact, outside the entrance here, there are pieces of calcite which have obviously come out of the mine entrance. The mine's just up there. So anyway, now I'm consoling myself with a tea and a chicken bolty slice. Cheers! It's good to be here anyway. Oh well, time to start heading back. I'm going to head back initially the way I come, but then divert off a little bit and try and walk back around the edge of Carsington water. Mizzle coming down now. Hello ladies, been bad weather lately, hasn't it? Aye, there's that pub again. Should have a pint if it's open. Well, it seems the answer is no, because as well as my helmet, I've also left my wallet in the van. Look at these handsome fellas here. It's a shame I haven't got my cow identification book, because I'd be able to tell you then what sort they are. Yeah, I must remember to bring that with me next time. Oh, I'm not sure what goes on here. This looks like it might be where the King of the Goblins gathers his followers and preaches to them. Aha! Oh, this seat's a bit wet. Well, there we go. There is Carsington water in all its glory. Well, that's the sailing club there, and a little bit further round is the visitor centre. This is the reservoir heading back towards the Caravan Club site, and all we've got to do is follow this path at the top of the dam. And this really is a bit of a blowy, exposed location today. There certainly doesn't look to be anyone out sailing today, or in the kayaks and canoes from the hire centre over there. This is a bit rough for it. So there you go, Carsington water on a wet day in March. Still pretty nice. Oh well, I think we got back to the van just in time, because the rain started to come down a little bit heavier now. My phone's telling me we walked around 8.5 miles, which explains why I'm a little bit achy now. But I've got myself a nice cup of tea and a slice of cake. Got this cake from the pound shop, but when I went up to pay for it, the lady asked me for £1.50. I did say to her, I thought all your cakes in here were £1. And she said, well, the rest of them are, but this is Madeira cake. Anyway, cheers. Well, I'm definitely ready for me dinner. I've got me some Chinese chicken from the butcher's at home. Looks like that's well done, doesn't it? And some rice and peas, and a nice beer in me Namho 2017 beaker. Cheers. Oh, that was
quite filling. I think I'm going to read my book for a little while before I have some apple pie. Oh well, slept very well again last night. Woke up around about 8:30. But I've got up now and got myself some tea. I'm going to make myself very much the same breakfast as I had yesterday, but might not bother with the egg today. I've been down to the office and I've got the pitch here until 3 o'clock this afternoon, so hopefully should still manage to meet up with Mum and Dad later on. Ah, very nice. Oh, I've had a bit of a roundup in the van. I'm going to have myself a quick tea, and then I think we'll walk down to the visitor centre at Carsington Water, see if they've got tea and a bun for me. Oh, a slight change of plan. I'm just going to have a short walk around the top end of the lake because I've had a message from Mum and Dad to say they might be here a little bit sooner than expected. Looking around at the vans here, I think I can definitely say ours is the oldest on site at the moment. Of course, because it's Sunday, lots of people packing up and getting ready to head for home. There's a great view of Carsington Water from these pitches up here near the entrance. Should have pitched here really. Might pitch here next time we come here. Well, it's much nicer weather than yesterday, although I think it is actually a little bit cooler weirdly, although the sun's out. There's a little island over there. If I had a small boat, I could row over and claim it as my personal kingdom. Sadly, haven't got a boat though. Yeah, this is a strange little place. There's these little sort of artistic bits all around. It's done to look like a living room. Piano doesn't work, unfortunately. It's the old school telephone there. It's still quite windy. Not very tempting to sit on your deck chair on the little beach down there. Still, plenty of fresh air. Well, it's probably about time now to start heading back to the campsite to meet Mum and Dad. I think I can make it a circular walk by heading up the track that I passed earlier on. It says no thoroughfare, but I think this is the back entrance to the campsite. Yep, there we go, there's the van. Well, it's back to tea, cake and my book while I wait for them to arrive. Well, there we go, Mum and Dad arrived safely. We went down to the visitor centre at Carsington Water and had Sunday lunch, a nice roast turkey. Spent about an hour with them in all, but now, unfortunately, it's time to head for home. That's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.